What is up, Nintendo Land? Welcome to Nintendo Open Air Podcast. Smash! If the mere mention of that word fills you with the giddiness of young Link, then today's E3 digital event was for you. We got everything from Princess Daisy to Ridley himself. But the question remains, is this final Smash enough to keep Switch players sharing the joy and KO the 20 million unit mark for 2018? Tonight, we break down the digital event and all of its ultimateness, confirm some leaks, and let out our yearly sigh after Nintendo's E3 digital event. Alright, so tonight, we're going to start off with the game that left us all scratching our heads saying, what exactly is this? Is this a Nintendo game? And that is Daemon X Machina. So I know everyone had this on their bingo card, right?
Yep, it looks like Transformers on like rocket skates or ice skates, and Project Giant Robot, Labo Robot. It's all mixed together. Gundams.
It looks like Mech Warrior to me, like an updated Mech Warrior. Is that the game that was really popular like in the 90s? Am I thinking right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks. I mean, it looks okay. It's just, I don't think it's my thing, but it looks very Japanese, and it probably is. It was a really weird thing to open with, though.
Yeah, and I did look it up at the end. It does mention it's developed by Marvelous and First Studio, so I didn't see Nintendo's name in there at all. So it's kind of it's a very odd opener.
I wonder if it's a Switch exclusive.
It seems to be just from a cursory Google. At least I don't see any mention of it on any other consoles. This seems to be all the headlines and all the articles seem to mention Switch only. I don't see any.
Yeah.
I don't see it specifically called out. They're only mentioning the Switch.
But
yeah, it was a head scratcher to start. Like, go ahead, Jason. Sorry.
I was just going to say that's something Reggie didn't do this time. He didn't say this is only on Switch, which I expected to hear. He kind of dodged that.
Yeah, it may be that one of those things where they just got to announce it first. Because this looks like something that would, like, there's tons of this kind of stuff on the PlayStation Shop, I think.
Yeah, it looks like a PlayStation game.
Yeah, so I imagine it's something that'll show up there.
There was like no intro though that I remember. It was just straight into footage, and everyone was scratching their heads trying to figure out what this was. I mean, to me, it looked sort of like Monster Hunter meets Pacific Rim or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird. Like, I always put myself in the mindset of I'm on the board of Nintendo, or I'm in the room where they're setting up the E3 plans, and they're like, "All right, boys, what do we lead off with?" I'm like, I don't know, man. I think that robot game looks pretty cool. Like, good call. Let's do that. And you'd think you'd want to open with something like, "Oh my God, here we go!" Like,
no, not necessarily. You want a slow build if you don't have a lot of exciting things, and they didn't. They have a couple exciting things. Yeah, true.
And another thing is too, I assume there was no Japanese version of this in any way, so because it's an American event. So maybe
they watched the same thing we do. That was just for them to enjoy.
I noticed, like, when Bill Trennan started the Treehouse segment, he said it in English and in Japanese, and I just wonder if this was more of an appeal to the Japanese audience.
That could be.
I would think so. And it's not slated for till 2019, is it?
I didn't see any release date.
I'm just looking right now. I'm seeing 2019.
Wow. That's disappointing.
Well, they said they wanted to focus on things coming out this year, Z.
Sometime in 2019 is all they're saying.
Well, technically, we got to remember we're talking about fiscal year probably when they said that. So that's not
maybe. That's true. Oh man, I don't know where to go from here.
No, we got to roll into the next title.
Talk about what's there, what's not there. All right, go for it.
And it's Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
DLC.
Yeah. Is it DLC?
This is DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Because it made no sense to any of us.
So yeah, this is they didn't really.
we haven't played it particularly.
Yeah, they didn't say anything about price or anything like that, but it looks like it's just DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So,
Just going
hopefully
back to
people
what
are
you said
excited about that.
about their plan again this year to just focus on stuff for this year. If this becomes a pattern, where does that leave us in January again? Is there going to be a pattern of drought and then a few releases and then even into Christmas? Like, is this going to be the set pattern for the Switch every year?
Yeah,
I think it is.
yeah.
Yeah, we get a few big things, right? We get
Trust
big
them.
stuff
They
that's
know what they're
on
doing.
everything else, but we're not. This is it's not the Wii U, but it's not a PlayStation or an Xbox in terms of the quality and volume of content that we're getting. We're getting a lot of smaller titles, and
Yeah,
part of it I think is devs still look at it as Nintendo's console is the next 3DS. So that's their mindset with it is mobile games, right?
yeah. I mean, it's
I
got
don't
that
know.
portable thing, so they want something that you can play on the go that might be a shorter experience.
Yeah, and okay,
Pick up and play experience,
I give you that. And so there's an argument to be made for more of that content, but right, the argument obviously that the 800-pound gorilla is where are the big AAA third-party titles?
Well, yeah. I mean, Zelda did very, very well. That wasn't
Wolfenstein.
really pick up and play.
I think.
Well, it was accessible though. I think. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I was just going to say, going back to Barry's comment, I think really what they saw was the first year of the Switch, this pattern worked. They can't see beyond the point that there was a huge drought or there was huge droughts in that first year. They just say, this is what we did in year one, and Switch was a success. Just like I think that applies to their dream for 20 million units. I think they think it's automatic. We did it once. We're going to do the exact same thing, and it'll happen.
It might though. People are.
Well,
right.
That chart we saw earlier this week, it was the one that had some numbers on it. Seemed to say that Switch had about 30 million sold now. How many did it sell in its first year? Something teen?
14, 17?
Yeah, 17.
So then it's already done 13, and we haven't hit the fall and Christmas season yet.
Yeah.
Like 20 seems possible if that's
Like,
true.
Well, where are we counting that 13 from? From the first of the year or from March? Because March is.
We don't have the numbers. Oh.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I don't. They're pinning a lot on because we're only 3 months past their first year, so they're pinning a lot on Pokemon and Smash. I hate to say it. I wish it weren't the case. I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to both sell like gangbusters at Christmas.
Pokemon's going to sell like gangbusters. Yeah, I think people still, after everything, won't realize that it's not what they thought it is. Exactly. And they're just like, this is the new Pokemon game.
Did anyone else think that's the next game that they talked about was the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee? Did anyone else surprised that the major reveal was the release date, which is November 16th? And that Mew comes in with the Pokeball Plus.
That's kind of weird. The Pokeball Plus looks tiny to me.
Yeah, it looks much smaller than I thought it was.
Or maybe Reggie's just got gigantic Reggie hands.
It could be that.
The Mew thing was a surprise to me. It's an interesting little twist and little thing they're putting in to try to motivate it, but I don't know. I'm looking at the pattern.
Basically got Let's Go Mew.
Kind of.
The Pokeball.
If they do that sort of the annual pattern, though, I'm thinking that's probably why they didn't bring up the Labo in this talk, too, is they're probably going to save that if there is another wave for that slow period again while school is still on, and that ties into the educational stuff.
Yeah, I'd imagine we still got a few more directs. And now I'm kind of wondering, I don't know, I guess we can get when we get there, but like, do you think they're going to do a Smash Direct? Because I felt like that's what this thing was.
I think there'll be another Smash Direct. I think we'll see, we haven't got to it yet, but I think we'll see a Fire Emblem Direct, and I think we'll probably see another Pokemon Direct.
Both the Pokemon and Smash release dates were late, November and December. When does the online thing start again?
September.
September. So there's got to be something closer to that, doesn't there? That's
Yeah, Splatoon 2. Oh.
And free NES titles.
Yeah, you'll be.
Yes.
By the time you get tired of playing Balloon Fight with your friends, you'll be
It'll
ready
be time
for Smash.
Pokemon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or Pokemon.
So, which will be probably day one.
No, that'll carry you at least a few months. These are
Personally,
brand new to people.
yeah,
Oh,
no one's
I'm
ever
just joking. No, I got Balloon Fight as a freebie from Club Nintendo. I played it for like 10 minutes. I was like, man.
Now, I did own that game back in the day. I still have the cartridge, and we did play the crap out of it because it was just one of those extremely rare. Well, it was just it wasn't. I mean, it was something I bought later on the console, but there were only a handful of 2-player in the very early round of Nintendo games. There were only a handful of games you could play 2-player simultaneous.
Yeah, that's true.
So it was. We played the crap out of it for that reason.
Speaking
But then
of,
we quickly moved on to stuff like Contra. Sorry, go ahead.
I never saw it until. Go ahead, Jason.
oh, that's all right. Go ahead. I was just
thinking. I never came across Balloon Fight myself until I got a 3DS and it came as one of the ambassador titles. I got more use out of it than most of the other NAS titles, but it wasn't. It was probably about third or fourth on the list. I got maybe 6 hours of time out of it. It was fun, but just little short bursts.
Yeah.
I like how you refer to gameplay time as use.
Use.
That's a good point.
I don't know. Is that I didn't think of it as it being an unusual term, but
well, I can think of certain media that I would consider using, but not games so much.
Lay off the man. I don't know what he means.
No,
I thought it was fine.
I thought it was interchangeable terms myself.
Yeah.
Really?
I think it's. I don't get a lot of use out of this bike.
Gameplay time, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was introduced to Balloon Fight through Animal Crossing, I believe. It was one of the
Smash Brothers Wii. Oh.
You people, man.
Are we you?
The classics. You missed out on the classics. You're all latecomers to this incredible classic game known as
It's easy to skip the black box games other than
I wanted to play
the ones that aren't
Ninja Turtles, man. DuckTales.
Yeah.
But talking about going back to the original comment on the online service, I don't think it was any surprise. I think it was our prediction that we would not hear anything at E3 about the online service. Yeah. And that was definitely true. It was not even mentioned.
Of course, at the time of recording this, we're recording this on Tuesday, so it's day one. Yeah. So tomorrow and Thursday, when they announce all the real games, when they announce Animal Crossing and
they're not going to announce crap
stuff and F-Zero and Punch-Out.
If we get some,
but it wasn't mentioned directly, and I wasn't expecting it to be mentioned directly. But you would think that they would have some fairly large title with features that involve online releasing close to the same time.
Yeah,
and they both aren't, or at least the two big hitters.
Or at least they haven't talked about them if they are. But it sounds like, PokeGo has very scaled down online functionality from previous ones, so that's not it.
I mean, what the hell comes out in summer? Like, there's, we're not too far away from Mario Aces.
Yeah.
But, between that and what's between that and Pokemon?
Summer's here. Let's stay in the house and play tennis.
Yeah. The next, there is a game between that and Pokemon, but it will not be using online functionality.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's supposed to be a big game going into summer, right? Every console should have a big game going into summertime because that's when a bunch of kids are off school and whatever. And what's our big game going into summer? Fortnite?
Super Mario Party.
Wolfenstein
Mario Party? Yeah,
what was the date on Mario Party?
Well, it's not till October, though.
Yeah.
Ooh, too bad.
So, like right now is when I was.
They're still porting it from 3DS.
I
Oh,
was kind of expecting them to drop a surprise something, that
Something.
they'd expect
Oh.
people to be playing over the summer, and there's nothing.
Yeah, there is.
Fortnite.
there is one major game coming out that Nintendo has talked into the ground. Octopath Traveler.
So you forgot
Oh,
Sushi
good
Striker.
And
Sushi
then
Striker.
and Sushi Striker.
$50 phone game. Yeah.
But you'll be so busy playing Dylan's Western whatever.
By the way, that was, if you haven't checked out our live reactions to today's presentation, you can check that out. It should be
Please
at all the usual places. It was pretty good because we thought Dylan's Rolling Western was getting announced for one of these things. Or at least I did.
You don't want to hear our disappointment live.
Yeah, if you're
Yes.
hyped about E3, don't listen to it because
Hear our hearts sink. Yeah. It was alright. It was honest.
it was honest, very honest opinion.
I think it's everybody else's honest opinion too. Twitter was really quiet. Like I waited a few hours and then I was like, let's go on Twitter and see what people are saying. Or let's see like what other little things I missed maybe that got announced afterwards, because I don't ever watch Treehouse because I can't stand it. And like I refreshed and there was really nothing.
Yeah, my Twitter didn't light up until much later.
There hasn't been any sort of hint at all that the Octo expansion might increase the Splatoon's online features or interactivity at all, has there?
It's all solo player. It's all offline.
Yeah, and they could, right, for the multiplayer
Octolings.
experience to remain coherent, they can't have an expansion that would have additional modes or anything like that, because they need to keep the player base consolidated. Well, they can they can give them weapons, they can give them all sorts of stuff, but like, you know what I mean? If you had something like, say, a Grizzco that was only for people with the Octo expansion, that's just ultimately going to die out sooner. You know what I mean? Because there's not going to be as many people in the player base for that as there will for the base game.
That's why you would put that in rotation once a week. Oh.
But you know what I mean? It just seems, and also it seems like it would be excessively complicated for Nintendo, that seems to not be able to handle anything very complicated online.
Oh, they're all over it. They got it. Everything's perfect. Splatoon 2 really isn't that bad. They've done a good job with Splatoon 2, I think, as far as ironing out some of their online.
I was just talking about earlier the kind of features that Steam has had for at least the 4 or 5 years I've been on Steam. It's had, I can click on somebody on my friends list and just watch what they're playing, assuming that, they have that set to allowed or whatever. I can talk to people, I can do whatever. And Steam just apparently is rolling out, I just read a thing today, they're rolling out a bunch of enhancements to that friend list functionality. And like, when I go into Splatoon, don't get me started on having to get on my phone.
Yeah, the architecture of how you do everything, it's like they think like, what features do we want to have? And then they just tell somebody, okay, put these features in, but they don't really put thought of, well, how is the end user experience going to be?
There's no coherent function. There's no, it's totally incoherent the way the online works in Splatoon. You got to walk over
does Splatoon 2 have voice chat? Hell yeah, it does.
And make a room for Grizzco specifically. Every other games that I've played for 10 years, even stuff from Nintendo, you can just hop in, like Mario Kart, you can just hop in and join your friends. That was 3 Mario Karts ago you could do that. Yeah. Your friend was playing an online match, you just hop in and join them. You still, of course, could never just join them local if they were playing a solo, which is annoying. But it's these kinds of things that they know they know this functionality is what people want, but for some reason in Splatoon it's kludgy as crap. Like, somebody who didn't play the first game and didn't know their way around would just kind of wander around the lobby or wander around, this plaza and eventually find their way into the lobby and whatever. But it's just, I don't know. Finding your friends and playing with them online is it's like
kludgy.
Difficult. It's kludgy and difficult. It's difficult by design. It's like it's designed almost intentionally
like a hurdle.
Difficult to find your friends. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta jump in here because you're you're telling us about how terrible this is, and I'm gonna jump into Fortnite because the three of us, me, Z, and Mo, have played Fortnite.
Okay.
I thought
Fair
that
enough.
was the most convoluted game to ever try to play. You just learn by pushing buttons, and it's like, oh, yeah. The game tells you to run. I've played 10 matches before I figured out how to run. And that was
Crouching.
You just didn't push all
Once
the
I got
stuff down.
crouch- See, that's the thing. I kept pushing the right stick. It wasn't making me crouch, but then I was crouched and couldn't, like, obviously the right stick couldn't be uncrouched because it wasn't crouched.
But- By the way, everybody, we know that you come here for game tips, so we're going to give you a hot tip of the week. Fortnite, you hold down the left stick, you press it in, and you'll run. You press the right stick, and you'll crouch. There's a little free advice.
And they're toggles, and everybody in the world already knows this because they've already played Fortnite.
Yeah, played it on every other platform.
But no, Fortnite's
are we talking
setup
Fortnite?
was kludgy too.
Let's go.
That was kind of a mess.
We've got a couple
Okay,
games
well,
in between, but it did launch.
We'll skip
today.
ahead. Yeah, Fortnite was their surprise. Nobody saw that one coming. Just like everything else that was on that other leak, like
Overcooked 2, Killer Queen
2,
Black,
Paladins, all that stuff. Everything that was on that list. But yeah,
Random point of note: wouldn't Fortnite be infinitely better if it had Splatoon shooter controls?
Yes.
Yeah, if it was maybe. I don't know. I can't seem to hit shit even if I'm pointed at it.
I was
in that
nailing
game.
people, but I wasn't killing them.
I got 4 strikes on somebody with a pickaxe before he shot me at point blank with a shotgun. 1 hit kills me. But yeah, it's the most interesting thing about Fortnite to me was the fact that somehow they have solved something that Nintendo could not. Speaking of Splatoon, they're patching in this week, actually Thursday when this drops. They're patching in the ability to use voice chat just with a headset that has a microphone by plugging it directly into the headphone jack on the Switch. So, surprise, It does work.
In handheld mode.
Yeah, in handheld mode. Yeah, I think it works in docked mode too. You just have to have either a wireless headset or a headset that'll reach, or be sitting close enough to your Switch. Put your Switch in your put your Switch dock in your lap.
It's news of all of this. Not that it dropped today. Not that it's a global phenomenon that's coming to Switch. Is the fact that they got voice chat and Nintendo will just continue to refuse to do it.
They're probably talking to their Nintendo rep, and they're like, "We've got voice chat on all the other platforms, but we don't really want to use your app, so I guess we're screwed there." They're like, "No, you can just plug a headset directly in." They're like, "Well, why the hell didn't you guys do that?" That's how I imagine that conversation happened. Well, we wanted to sell them a squid peripheral.
Is that something that they're going to then lock in under the paywall for the online services?
I'm not sure yet as far as online, because I was wondering about like Rocket League, but yeah, I wonder about third-party stuff, like if you'll have to pay for the online on third-party stuff, or if it's just Nintendo stuff, or
are you
it's just a tease taster before then, give you a couple months to try it out so you know how good it could be, and then you gotta get it paid for.
Are you
get you addicted to Mario Tennis Aces and then pull it away from you? Oh, sorry, go ahead, Jason.
I thought you were going to suggest that Nintendo would wire in voice chat for like games like Splatoon or Mario Kart.
I don't think they will.
No.
I'm sad to say that.
But now at least we know that they could.
Yeah.
They just don't want to.
Mario Kart, they used to. They did last Mario Kart, but they won't.
Well, it had a microphone right on the thing. Oh.
That too.
Well, we play in Rocket League, and we had some people, using foul language at us earlier when we were playing, and they allow that on a Nintendo console. So I think it's just first-party titles that are strictly restricted to communications, if that makes any sense.
Not that it bothers us in terms of if we're playing on a team, right? Because we got Hangouts or whatever. We chat. But
wouldn't it be nice just to have it all in one, though?
It'd be nice, and admittedly, if it was like nice 3 of us, I don't want to talk to randos, but if there's like 3 of us and a rando joins, then all right. It's probably better if
They
he
just
can
pile on him. Oh,
Well, no, I'm just saying it's probably better at least if he can hear us at the very least.
yeah.
When we're talking about where we're going in Splatoon or whatever, or Rocket League or
Yeah,
what
the
have you.
pure. We won't talk about Rocket League much, but the pure genius of it is it's a game that only requires 3 players because we can never find a fourth for anything.
Yeah,
Oh, we had 4 the other night, though. Yeah,
That's true. That's true for a little bit.
yeah. We need you to download Fortnite, Barry.
But yeah. We're testing a theory this week.
Max has it as well. If we can talk her into playing with it.
This will be my last thing I'm going to mention about Rocket League this week. I promise. So we had this theory that people on PC and other consoles could not see what we were typing, because I've noticed the only people that are ever talking smack are people on Switch, where they'll type out these long drawn out things. So Z has it on PC. So we hopped in cross-platform with him, and sure enough, we could type anything out, and he
could not read it at all. Yeah,
and vice versa.
So now we know, at least for right now, that's how it is. I don't know if that'll change once they start enabling this cross-party mode. But
and the other thing is, you said they're working towards a unified account system, Mo, because I imagine, I imagine that people that have it on multiple platforms now will be able to merge their account. Right.
Man, that would be something. I don't know if they'll allow that or not. That would be something, though.
It would be something.
Because they'd be able to take all your items from all your different Rocket League accounts and put them all one together.
That's what I would hope would happen, is you'd have to just pick a primary account and all your items would just collect on your primary account. In my case, I've hardly played on Steam other than single player stuff, so I've only collected just the regular common crap. But
it would make
would it be one unified account and you could access all your items from any of your platforms?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
but it would be this. Yeah, it would be the same account, though. It wouldn't be like, well, it already, like when I do the Rocket League, when I do the Twitch stream, I pick a primary account because I've got 2, and so only my Switch gets the stuff from the Twitch stream. I don't get any stuff on Steam. So I assume it would be. Yeah. I just assume they'd merge it. I just assume that effectively my Steam account goes away and becomes, because I'll say I want my Switch account to be my primary. I assume my Steam account will just go away, and when I log into Steam, I'm logged into the same, I have the same cars and the same crap, and I can play with you guys. I hope so. I'd like to have options.
Mario Party.
Yeah, Mario Party. I mean, I think we can all. Super Mario Party was announced October 5th. And
they're getting real lazy with these names.
Yeah. This is going kind of retro almost. First off, we did see the multi-screen patent, which we talked about in a previous episode about things sliding from one screen to the other.
That's kind of neat.
That seemed to be the gimmick. But I have to say, I think we can all agree on this. They only had to do one thing to fix Mario Party, and that is allow online multiplayer. I think it's something people have wanted since GameCube era. And it
doesn't appear to be there still.
Yeah, but wait, when's it launch again?
October 5th.
It'll be there.
Yeah. So
Guaranteed.
We don't. Yeah. Maybe.
I don't
guaranteed.
think.
Guaranteed. I guarantee.
The thing is, there's such an emphasis on this having 2 switches now, or at least that they're showing that off. There's such an emphasis on a local play. I guess there's just those. I'm wondering if that's a separate mode or
the launch date.
What that is.
The launch date tells me it will have online play, guaranteed.
All right, you guys mark his words.
Mark my words. There's no way that they're releasing this right around the same time that they're launching the online service, and it's not going to have online feed. There's no way. This has to be. They're sitting on it. This has to be. They're going to announce it at some point, but this has to be their online thing, because, right? We've talked about this. Pokemon, no real online features. Smash, it is what it is. It isn't. It's got online stuff, but I don't, you know what I mean? That's just one little match. That's not a thing. I think if Mario Party allows, has a nice, robust online, multiplayer experience, I totally think that's going to be.
Is there anything about Mario Party that is robust? It's kind of a simple game.
Well, here's the
Wario.
thing. Here's the thing
yeah.
about it. They've made this mistake on Wii U, and I hope they've learned from it, where they've put out mediocre revisions of these titles, and people said, "Hey, this is crap."
Or hey, the 3DS Mario Party. That probably sold 5 copies.
Yeah,
Has this been a problem since like Mario Party 3 or 4?
I would say 7 or 8.
Okay.
Right? I don't know. I'm trying to think. What were the GameCube ones? Those were like 4 and 5, weren't they?
I think GameCube's was kind of the last good Mario parties.
Yeah, agreed. They started going downhill on the Wii, and all of the Wii had motion. Yeah,
the first 3 were amazing. They should put out the Mario Party trilogy remastered.
I can't see them dropping this. I mean, old Nintendo, I would say yes, they dropped this in October, right around the launch of their online service, without batting an eyelash, and go, "What online features? Why would you expect online features?" But the new Nintendo, I'm certain this will have online capability.
All right.
The new Nintendo didn't think they needed games for E3, but go ahead.
Or at least new games. We were watching our reaction.
We didn't even see old games.
We've seen this before. We've seen this before. We've seen this before. Yeah.
Before we leave this topic, I want to let everyone weigh in. Do you think Super Mario Party will have online functionality?
No.
I say no.
I'm voting yes.
I don't know. I think it could, but to be honest, I've never played any Mario Party game. I don't know anything about the series, so it's just a guess.
What are you guessing, Barry?
Out 10 years ago or 15 years ago. Now you're not missing out.
I think it could.
It's a split.
We need Max or Eric to break the time.
No, excuse me.
Opinions on Twitter. So
yeah,
if you have a strong feeling about this, send us a comment on YouTube or on Twitter and tell us who is right and who is wrong, what you think, and maybe we're both right in some way. Hope so. All right. I wish Max was here because I know the next topic is only exciting to me, and that is Fire Emblem Three Houses. Got a really nice video for it. Already see some new mechanics added in. Looks like group attacks or like larger armies battling.
This series just game after game rolls by. Like 3 came out on the 3DS in a row or something, and it was like I have no idea what this is about.
And if you listen to our E3 live presentation thing, you'll notice I shut up as soon as that came on because I was like, I'm going to let Jason have his moment and just bask in this.
Let my E3 be happy for just a moment, please.
The only thing I think the only thing I said during the whole thing was I made a little bit of fun of the singing girl, but that was about it. But it looked beautiful. It looked good as those kind of games can look.
It reminded me a lot of the Wii and Wii U games, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. Those were, in my opinion, some of the better Fire Emblem games. So I'm really looking forward to this. The fact it's been since then that we have not.
eBay would agree with you. Those are the best.
Yep.
I thought for a minute that this was going to be one of the first sort of home console type outings, but apparently not. Apparently there were other ones I was just unaware of. Just
those 2, and there was one on the Super NES in Japan, I believe.
Yeah, I mean it's always been one of those kind of on the edge franchises for Nintendo, and just recently it feels like it's kind of broken through into the thing where you'll actually mention Fire Emblem as an IP for them.
Well,
it's moved on from like the Advanced Wars tier to being its own. It's right up there with Kirby and Yoshi.
In Japan, it's been huge since its inception.
Right. It just got bigger in the West. Yeah.
Yeah. So
the 3DS game, really.
Yeah, I remember the first time I bought it was the second Fire Emblem game that came out in the U.S. And I remember being at the local retailer and saying, I want Fire Emblem: The Sacred Stones. And they said, you want Pokemon? I said, no, Fire Emblem that for the what was it, the Game Boy Advance. You
Yeah.
don't want Pokemon? No.
He's like, boss, what do I do here? I've never had somebody not come in for Pokemon.
Yeah. They were very confused, so it looks
do
good.
we have something that's not Pokemon?
But
What I've seen
Was
of the
that-
gameplay of that game, I mean, it's very strategy and thought out, which is something that appeals to me, but I couldn't quite get behind the story entirely on the one that I tried back from the Game Boy Advanced era.
Oh wow,
Gotta watch more anime.
They have really great stories. They develop very well. What really
Heavy petting.
No,
They had
that's only,
there are some interesting
Just
characters.
Japan only.
that's what really sells the game is you have when you battle with certain characters, you eventually get a fairly good sized army by the end of the game, and you have to choose which characters to, invest your time in playing. But these characters develop relationships between each other, and it's like, well, you may find out, this one knows this one through some other circumstance, or these share this that wasn't, thought to be common, and
It's like an RPG soap opera.
Yeah, but it takes a lot of time to develop and get to these secrets, and in the meanwhile, any of your characters could die at any given time, and they're just gone. Like, that's the problem I found with it.
That's why you have to,
permadeath.
if a character dies, you reset the level. I think that's how all the hardcore players play. That's how I play.
Gee, you reset your clock in Animal Crossing too?
No.
Cheater, pumpkin eater. Oh.
Well, I just restart the level. I don't see it as cheating, and the newer games do take that out. But anyway, I was going to say the big drawback on this is very disappointing. We were promised Fire Emblem coming this year, and it's 2019. I'll let out an extra groan of for Max since she's not here.
No. Well, we were promised Yoshi this year as well, and they're now saying that's 2019. Well, they're not saying it, but their website is.
Yeah, that was another game that was really missing, and I think we all expected to see a lot of Yoshi.
Yoshi Prime, something seems to have shifted gears and slowed down considerably since, right? We all said, oh, can they keep this pace up after the first year?
Yeah.
Or during the first year, and obviously they couldn't.
And we thought there was a drought this year. Oh.
I know.
And even their strategy with Pokemon has sort of slowed down that release because the next main generation one is pushed back a year, and we get this whole filler.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think this whole filler is going to leave everybody but the hardcore Pokemon fan base with a bad taste in their mouth, and I think it's going to hurt sales of the mainline Pokemon game.
Will 2019 be the new 2017?
There will be a subset of the casual, kiddie base that will accept it, I think.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk a little bit about what wasn't there. Mainly, well, yeah, there was no F-Zero, no Punch Out, no Steel Diver. If you saw our bingo card, I think we got 3 out of, 27?
And that's if you count the game that was announced in the beginning, the Daemon versus Cross.
Yeah, because we just said there would be some new IP.
But that's...
Now, we purposely threw stuff on our bingo card that we knew we wouldn't see, though.
Right.
I know.
Those are dreams in there, like Steel Diver. I don't think anyone...
Yeah, we didn't expect that, no. But we expected there to be something out there. And, I mean, there was really there wasn't... Other than was Mario Party the only kind of, I guess if you want to call that a surprise?
Yeah.
That's the only one that we didn't know was coming. And didn't care that was coming. So, I mean, that was there. Any of the Star Fox business wasn't there.
Well, but we can kind of talk about
the Starlink thing. Yeah,
there's the Starlink Battle for Atlas, which was in the confirmed games reel, as I'm calling it, which I just went through a roll of games, and that was really the only interesting one that we haven't previously mentioned or.
Well, that gave me flashbacks to the comments from Nintendo saying there was going to be an R-Wing amiibo. This is sort of the next best thing. But go ahead.
Does anybody have a grasp of what this game is like? By the way, since we're mentioning it.
I saw it earlier and I read about it. Oh, there was going to be something sort of like another Toys to Life thing, but it would be basically the ships themselves plus the different weapons you slap on the ships plus the little pilots in the ships are all connected somehow. So if you swap the pilot out of the ship, from what I understand, it swaps the pilot out of your ship in the game. If and you can change your ship's weapons with actual little weapon attachments on your little toy ship.
So it's kind of like Skylanders. I know they've done some of that where you could take the figures apart and put them
Yeah.
together.
From what I understand, it works like that. The gameplay for at least it looks like it's all spaceships, so it looks like it's totally in Star Fox's wheelhouse. It looks like a very similar kind of game, a sort of free range-ish, sort of on rails-ish kind of shooter game. Probably not too on rails, but
I saw that it was a sort of a kiddie version. I've seen someone refer to it as, or as a sort of less mature version of some other games in a similar genre.
StarCraft.
I don't
Well-
I don't recall what game for sure.
it's a space. It's like a old Wing Commander-y type, in that kind of genre space shooter game. It's like any of the other stuff that comes with toys. We put Nintendo in a special category, but all of the others are very child oriented. Skylanders and Disney Infinity
That's
and
true.
all that business. So it's in that same vein. But it's still got a pretty cool looking R-Wing.
I have a feeling this
Yeah.
will be one we can wait to go on clearance at Best Buy or Target or some retailer.
Not
Sure
Toys R Us
thing.
anymore.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but like I saw the Donkey Kong and Bowser Skylanders, on clearance at Toys R Us and still didn't pick them up. They're cheap on Amazon now too.
I went to Toys R Us this week and saw the remains of my store. I think they're closing at the end of this month. I think they said all Toys R Us stores are going to be completely gone.
Mine was one of the first ones out the gate, man. It's that kind of sucked. Mine was gone months ago.
Yeah. But we didn't get Lilat System, and we didn't get Star Fox Grand Prix.
I'm thankful for that.
No, all of our little leak lists were totally bogus. All the ones I saw.
Yeah, we didn't see. Oh,
It's
go ahead.
still a Star Fox game, though. I mean, they had a little
Kind of.
Star Fox is going to be in a game.
He'll be in Smash.
Yeah.
It's the same as when they did the Skylanders special thing. I don't see that as a big.
Yeah.
No, it's not a very big deal. But a big deal is we didn't see any Metroid at all.
Yeah.
Just completely not there. That I think everybody expected. Like we'll see either
Except
a
for
longer
Smash.
trailer, maybe with some gameplay. Yeah,
They
there was a
said-
nice Metroid trailer for Smash.
They set that up perfectly with Smash. That would have been a great tie-in.
Well, yeah, they. I mean, we'll just say it now. Everyone knows anyway. They dropped Ridley. They did this whole like little cutscene thing, and then they could have been like, one more thing, and then shown like some Prime, and
Hey,
people
we
would have been okay with
but-
that.
We just built this fancy Ridley model. Where do you think that came from?
Yeah, that was there. Also, no third parties there. Like I was really expecting like a GTA or look
Something,
at
yeah.
us. We've got something big. We're the first 3 Fallout games or something.
That's true.
Fortnite.
Fallout 76 announced for Switch.
But
No,
Did they-
it's coming to everything except for Switch. They said.
Yeah.
did they mention Wolfenstein again? And
Same, yeah.
and the
Yeah.
remastered version of Dark Souls. Those were both still in the reel for E3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That means
Bethesda's conference mentioned that. I mean,
failing.
there's this new Elder Scrolls Blades game, which they said will come to every possible platform. So there'll be an Elder Scrolls game coming that's like a mobile game, basically.
If it's deemed possible.
Yeah, I don't think they'll have trouble with that. I don't know that I didn't pay that much attention to Ubisoft. I don't remember if they had announced anything really, but it doesn't seem like any of the third parties are really talking anything on Switch.
The only 2 games I can think of, Bandai Namco did announce another Warriors Muso games. I'm trying to think, kind of a Samurai Warriors type game coming to Switch. And we did get announced. I don't remember who does this game. It's not Square, is it? That does the Tales series?
Tales, yeah.
But it's a remastered game. It's not a new game. I'm happy about that coming to Switch, and I may pick that up and play it.
But you know what? Nintendo heard us loud and clear. No Wii U ports mentioned. Well, sort of.
No. Yeah.
Hey-o.
Yeah. Well, I think we've covered most of everything. I mean, we didn't really talk a lot about Octopath Traveler, but I know we
don't want to.
It looks better.
What can we said about Octopath Traveler that we haven't said already? It's getting a new demo.
That was surprising. Hooray. Did anyone guess that?
Well, that's because the first demo, remember, was kind of like a beta where they were looking for suggestions on what to do with the series, and so now
maybe we'll play that and love it.
Yeah, maybe they heard us complaining about it, and we're like, okay, now let's give them a new demo so that they can say it's good.
A month apart, so that'll be coming out this week, in fact, the 14th. And then a month later, in July 13th, we'll be getting the game, so interesting. But we've been through all the...
Sadly, we've been through everything that they've shown already.
It's really
Good night,
sad.
everybody.
We did not talk about what took up 26 minutes of this 44-minute broadcast, and that is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, releasing December 7th.
A day that will live in infamy. I'm pretty sure that's Pearl Harbor Day.
Is that really?
I think so.
I don't know. The overall takeaways for me were basically just, roster. They did a good chunk of what the base roster will be, and then, the new addition of Ridley. I don't know how much of a tie-in is that, by the way. I hadn't, again, Metroid Prime is another series that I hadn't played any of. Is that a main character from that?
Yeah, Ridley was in the very first Metroid game. Ridley's been in almost all of them, if not all of them. Or maybe Ridley wasn't in Metroid 2, I guess. Not originally,
true.
anyway.
The Game Boy, yeah, he was not in the original.
Yeah, but yeah, Ridley's kind of like the Bowser of the sort of the Bowser. It's weird because Metroid's the final main villain's really Mother Brain in the good ones.
It doesn't do much. Well, I guess in Super Metroid it did, but yeah. Ridley is
kind of accepted as the main villain.
Yeah, he's kind of everybody's favorite boss, even though he's technically not the last one. Yeah. Even though people
not always.
even like people always seem to like Sagat better than M. Bison.
Yeah, but you know what? He is the final boss in enough of the games. I think in the Prime games, I don't think there was a Mother Brain in the Prime games. I think you fought Mecha Ridley.
Oh, okay. I never played enough of the Prime games to care.
Yeah, so I think, but yeah, Ridley's just basically the Bowser of the Metroid series, I guess. And people have been begging for years, kind of half jokingly, maybe, to put Ridley in Smash. So they were like, "Here you go." We didn't get Goku though.
I'm fearing Goku or Shrek.
So, it's nice to see another. I mean, there's some franchises that, in my opinion, are overrepresented in Smash. So it's nice to see another Metroid character.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot of characters could, unless they're going to throw Kraid in there.
Yeah, you'd pretty much have to just another bad guy. So we basically have two Samuses and a bad guy that gets larger in every iteration of the game. So it's kind of funny that now he's going to be, fighter sized.
Yeah. And the big reveal, I guess, of Smash was that they're bringing back every character that's ever been in a Smash.
Some of which didn't need to come back. We don't need Young Link. We don't need what are some of the others that are just
Ice Climbers?
Useless clones. No, Ice Climbers is fun. That's
I know. People love that. Solid Snake is back.
Yeah, Solid Snake's back. But it's just there's too many characters that are that are clones of other characters.
Do you
Like,
think
the
we didn't? Are you
roster's
saying we
already
didn't need Daisy?
complicated. We didn't need Daisy.
Nobody needs
Yeah,
Daisy.
you know who they left
How-
out? Poor Waluigi.
Is Waluigi still not? Oh man,
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
they'll add, if they're adding Ridley, they'll add Waluigi. I think that's another prediction I'm making.
He might be. That's true. There's more reveals that could come.
Sakurai did say at the end that there will not be many new characters. So
That's true. Yeah. And Bill Trinan had a quote earlier this week that they're not revealing everything about the Smash game. That more details will come as it gets closer. So,
but we kind of theorized to that what we did not see. We saw a lot of, to me, uninteresting details, like the little changes to characters, like Rob has a new light on his chassis or something, and
Well, that's useful because it's a fuel gauge, so I get that. That's one of the things that I actually saw. I was like, oh, okay, because it's the little light is supposed to be a fuel gauge, but that's the exception. Go
that's
ahead,
the E3 presentation worthy.
material. Yeah, that's.
Oh, yeah.
Or
yeah, it really feels like they stretched it. They're like, look, we don't really have a whole lot. So, Sakurai, you think you could fill like
Let's
half
show
the
them
presentation?
every single detail that we've changed.
this
Like no matter how minute.
One of them was that they've re-recorded sounds for one of the characters, or some of the sounds for the character. Some of the sound effects for some of the characters are brand new.
yeah, like
It's like that's a revelation right there.
like Ike was one of them, where the different costumes will have the two different voices. Okay.
One thing I noticed, they
I
added
wasn't going to
that
buy
you
it,
can
but now I am.
play as a male or female Pokemon trainer. But that leads to another question. How many Pokemon have made it into Smash now? Because it seems like there's a little oversaturation on that end.
There's 6 Pokemon, and now there's a Pokemon trainer.
Well, well, the Pokemon trainer, though, Charizard was a standalone character in the Wii U and 3DS versions, right?
Yeah.
But now
so they didn't. That's interesting. Yeah, they didn't mention Charizard as a standalone fighter.
But they did say that if you're the trainer, you can pick just one of the 3 and play as that for the whole match, and there's no penalty to doing so. So you can play as Charizard that way.
It's always been like that.
Okay.
You can switch between the 3 at will or not.
And is there any benefit to switching between the 3 aside from getting access to their other moves or whatever?
No, I mean, it's just your choice.
So it's not like the next one you pop out has higher health or anything like that. You get no benefit in that regard. Okay.
No.
So it's the trainer's health or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, and you're forgetting the Pokemon that was most important that was announced.
Pichu. I forgot. That's a 7th. That's a 7th standalone Pokemon.
The Linkle of the Pokemon series.
Well, yeah, but Pichu and Young Link are the 2 that I thought. I am sure there are others I'm not thinking of. Pichu and Young Link are the ones that I thought were the most. Like Pichu, as far as I could ever tell, was just a weaker version of Pikachu.
Yeah.
Like he didn't seem to have any positives. He was just a weaker version of Pikachu.
He's cute. That's his positive.
Cuter, yeah. And like, well, I don't know. We'll see.
We should have got Pancham if they were going for cute.
I just know there's more amiibos I'm gonna have to buy, and that's fine. I'm okay with that.
And we got Breath of the Wild Link, but not Breath of the Wild Zelda.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, and then we get Zelda from the 3DS game, which
Link
don't get me wrong, was a great game. Yeah, Link Between Worlds Zelda. Don't get me wrong, it's a great game, and also I understand. I get the fact that it's more the traditional princess look from that game. But it's kind of weird that we don't have a Breath of the Wild skin.
Well, why couldn't they just had her traditional look from, just as an alternate costume?
Yeah, agreed. Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, agreed. Why
they
not
still
have
might,
Breath
I guess,
of the Wild as one of the alternate ones? Yeah,
we don't know. They might.
I would have done Breath of the Wild Zelda and just had the princess outfit as the alternate.
It seems like they messed with some of the final smashes too. Like they mentioned specifically the Little Mac, instead of it being like a character that you control, it just turns into Gigamac and he pummels. So I'm wondering if they took all those control ones, like the octopus for Game and Watch, like if they've made them so you're not controlling them anymore.
Because
I would love to see Ganondorf turn into Calamity Ganon for a final Smash.
Yeah, maybe.
But he's the Ganon from Ocarina of Time.
I know.
Yeah, they changed it back there for that one.
That's just, yeah.
They're all
like
over the place.
I like
Well,
that
he's
that's
always
where
been
they chose to draw the comparison between the older game and the new game. Was comparing Melee to this new game coming out. It's like you didn't go back to the Wii U or the 3DS version
or the original. Yeah, they referred to Melee because they know Melee is the one. So yeah, that's true. Yeah, every reference was back to Melee specifically, even if there were other references that were more appropriate for a different version.
No, I thought this was settled, but the debate rages on about whether this is an enhanced port of the Wii U and 3DS version or a brand new game. Does anyone have any opinions on that?
Barry, were you about to throw something in on that?
Barry.
Well, just the odd throwback, obviously, when they talk about bringing back a character like Solid Snake from 10 years ago. They didn't name the game, but that's, a reference to Brawl from Wii U, and they did indicate where the characters were from, at least in their history, because they went through and numbered them all. So
out of order, which was annoying.
Yeah,
feels like an anniversary edition.
Yeah,
but on your point, Mo,
enhanced port.
There's no way this is a brand new game from the ground up. We know where Ice Climbers came from. We know where, you know what I mean. We know where Ridley's coming from. We know where most of these assets otherwise have come from. They came from the Wii version. And we don't know exactly. We're not looking over the shoulders of the devs, at their workstations.
Yeah, the unused Wii U
how much the models are crossed over and whatever. Yeah. But we know that Ice Climbers were announced for Wii U and then pulled because the mechanics of the character animations were too complicated, and the Wii U would slow down on it. Apparently,
they had it on the Wii U working, it just wouldn't work on the 3DS.
Oh, that's what it was. That's right. It was because they were trying to do complicated for the 3DS, and then they.
But we did get some sweet stages.
Crossplay, but then they canceled it on the Wii U anyway, so I don't buy that excuse entirely. Yeah, we get new stages.
I do like the new stages.
Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah. But I want that Pac-Man stage from the 3DS. We won't get the Miiverse stage.
Yeah, I was gonna say we won't have a Miiverse stage. It'd just be blank. Wouldn't it be awesome if they did it as a Miiverse stage, but it just used the
Splatoon Plaza.
The Plaza.
Plaza.
Just be all about trans gay squids.
It's surprising to me how many penises have ended up in my Plaza, but it makes me happy.
Yeah. Well, the algorithm knows that you give fresh to them every time, so it's giving.
So it's like, whenever
giving you more of the penises you crave.
It's right. It's kind of like how they turn the AI evil by feeding it, bad information. Yeah. So I'm turning the system, like I'm trying to overwhelm the system that filters out the penises with freshes.
If an amiibo can learn, then Splatoon 2 can learn.
Exactly. I want Splatoon 2 to learn that penises are what people want to see in their Plaza, not what should be filtered out. So
for those of us who want to talk about Smash Brothers, I will answer your question, and I think this is without a doubt an enhanced port. And I think it might as well be called Smash Brothers Remastered rather than Ultimate Smith's Interchangeable.
Well, they were really shooting for Ultimate on Wii U. And so this is them finally pulling it off. So I'll give it to them, but I still think Super Smash Brothers Switch just has the alliteration. It just sounds so good.
Now, where the hell do you go from here?
I'm still wondering.
Ultimate.
Yeah, that too.
I'm still wondering what they're doing with the little. What was the sub character they put on some of the numbers for characters who are similar to other ones?
Was it Epsilon?
Or like Dark Pit.
Echo characters.
Echo characters. Because I remember in Smash on Wii U, you had some characters who were in only as skins of existing characters. Like you could get Alfie as a skin for Olimar, or you could get Ken as a skin for Ryu.
These are actual separate playable characters that have basically the same move set, but variations. One move will be a little stronger, a little weaker, that kind of stuff.
I gotta say, I'm more tied to Alf than I am to Alamar, just because that's my Pikmin 3 boy.
You think those like Alf and Ken will be there still?
I think so.
Well,
So
they
does
showed,
everyone.
they
go ahead.
showed the Inkling, which was the other one we didn't mention, but we all knew Inklings were coming.
Yeah.
They showed all the different costumes, and I have to say they were pretty sweet. They had different gear on.
And
new
Moray
Inkling
Towers.
amiibos that look basically the same as the old Inkling amiibos. So I won't buy them.
And Villager
They
had
took
about
all
8
the-
costumes.
Oh, yeah.
And a Breath of the Wild tower stage. That's pretty sweet too.
I like the tower stage. That was the highlight of new stages, I think.
Better than Moray Towers?
That is cool looking.
Oh, no, I guess not.
Moray Towers is pretty.
Oh.
Yeah, that's an even better stage. And I like the interesting addition of ladders. I think the first game had
And-
ladders. I
and
want to say
ladders?
the first game did.
Yeah.
Ladder
Weren't they in the Wii U ones too? Didn't some of those stages have ladders that could be destroyed?
and you could build them.
Don't
right?
remember them.
In the customizable stages, couldn't you add ladders?
You guys, I don't remember ladders at all, but maybe.
Because
I
he
don't
mentioned,
know.
he didn't say ladders were added. He said ladder attacks.
Ladder
Okay.
combat, yeah.
It's a ladder match. Tables,
Is it-
chairs, and ladders.
Does anyone
TLC.
here consider themselves at all good at Smash?
No.
Nope.
Absolutely not.
All right. So
I
who
was
does
once-
everybody play?
I can use the stick to smash stuff.
Yeah.
I know that you can push that right stick and it'll do smash attacks.
Now you'll be able to you swing your Joy-Con to do them. I betcha.
That's what I said last podcast. Was I
Yeah.
wonder how they're going to try to
I'm sure you're right.
motion controls in here somehow.
They will. I'm sure you're right.
Broken TVs galore.
Honestly, I played Smash very little. I think I have what is it? The Wii 1 Brawl. I played through some of the campaign. I got the one on Wii U. I played a couple of matches with friends, not many, and I tried to collect a few of the trophies, just playing a bit of the single player. That's about all I've done.
You missed
Didn't
that.
get far.
Missed that on the 3DS version. As far as single player stuff, Smash Run, I think, was
Yeah.
superior version.
Yeah.
Definitely. I
And we
put
still
far more hours
they did
into the
not
3DS
mention
one.
they didn't really mention the single player stuff at all. If it's
That'll-
gonna have, if they're bringing Smash Run, or what other modes they're gonna have.
They're calling it
Run
Ultimate
Derby,
for a
stuff like
reason.
that. Yeah, so I would hope that all that stuff's gonna be there.
That'll be during
But
the
I really
direct-
wonder about the future of the series.
the Smash Direct is coming. Yeah. That's a good
Uh,
point. I don't know.
Are they gonna? If you've
Yeah.
got Ultimate, are you just gonna start tacking numbers on?
Yeah, I don't like. Is that it's like Super Mario Maker was the end of Super Mario Brothers?
Right, like, because you
And
can't really, once you've got every character, well, now you have to have every character every time from here on out. Can't just shrink it back down again, right?
And they were saying how that makes an interesting dynamic for the Kirby character, who's got to have an alternate form for every different character in the game.
Yeah. Now there's going to be additionals for him. I wonder if I bet you like Pikachu and Pichu are going to be the exact same thing from Kirby's perspective with
Oh,
different.
Kirby Ridley. You think he just turns into Meta Knight?
Oh.
Nice. That would be
Uh,
cool with no mask.
Yeah. Just a peek. I don't know, man. Smash is. It's like, I'm glad Smash is something. It's one of those things. It's the Mario Kart thing, but to spend over half the direct on that.
And then,
When
if it was all
and
new
the-
information too, that would be different. But it's just like good information, I should
Yeah.
say. It's like,
Yeah.
this is how this costume is different. This is how this voice. Before it would have been SmashBrothers.com, and he would have
The
done.
Wii Fit trainer's eyes move now.
Yeah,
Yeah, or she has different facial expressions.
and that should terrify you the most of all. That is what they brought to their E3 presentation. It's the
Yeah,
Wii
this
Fit
is
trainer
this
guy.
is E3. This is the big news that you waited all year to hear. We've
This is
changed some of
Atari
the
showing
facial
up.
ticks
This is
On the
Atari
Wii
showing
Fit
up at the
trainer.
Game Developer Conference with an
empty box. Yeah.
This isn't quite the empty box. Well, no, it is, because they showed up with an empty box and a really neat joystick. And That's it. So there was one takeaway was, that's kind of a cool looking joystick.
And they brought
got-
attention to the character models.
Yeah.
That Star Fox Zero well represented. And the new character modeling for Fox.
They even referred to Star Fox Zero
They
in.
used that dirty word during E3.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah. They
I think that
actually
confirms it's coming.
admitted its existence. You think so?
Yep.
Zero Suit Samus got a new character model, kind of.
I know go ahead, Mo. You wanted to point that out.
No,
the whole podcast.
You can look it up.
Cover your ears.
Something's changed. She's reduced her chesticles.
That's nice.
She's a little smaller on top.
That's we'll see how that ends up in the final form. That could be.
I hope she's got an alt.
Yeah. A different skin of Samus.
Yeah. This is the Wii U.
No, and that the screenshot that you posted, it's like it's not as sharp of an image. It's not as sharp of a character model. I don't think it's the same. I think the final form, what we see in the game, will not be the same.
We'll see.
I think it will be.
It won't bother me either. I'm more bothered by the fact that they've changed her Smash.
Yeah, that's irksome.
It's because it used to be like she'd get in the suit and you could kind of and that's another one of the things where it's like they're taking away the user controlled smashes.
Yeah,
love them or hate them. She had a pretty cool smash where you got in the ship and you could control the laser, and now it's like a laser will shoot out of her suit. It's like, well, why? Why would that happen? What game has that ever happened in?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying though. It makes it more like Mario Kart, where it puts more randomness into it in terms of player.
Although
luck,
I don't know if any
player control and skill.
I semi-mained Game & Watch in the last one. Like I got into that, and his octopus smash is pretty stupid because there are stages where, like the stages where it has like platforms where you'll be stuck in the air and you can't actually go down. So it's like you'll be too high in the air to reach anybody with your smash.
Yeah. That was
like
the
it was like a glitch kind of
controlled ones.
Yeah.
Is that some of them you would be in a situation where, once you activated it, you would get stuck very quickly or easily stuck somewhere where you could make no use of it. I'm
pretty sure I've even KO'd myself in the octopus, like because it just kept going up and up and up till it went off the screen.
Oh, like you were on top of it or whatever?
Yeah, like it would, the controls got weird and inverted or something, and the octopus just floated into the sky, and then it gave me the little smash thing like I had been killed.
Nice.
So maybe that's why they got rid of it. Maybe they just couldn't fix the glitch, so they were just like, let's just change these.
I just want to make it more random, like Mario Kart. Right? It's not a legitimate competitive gaming experience. It's a couch competitive gaming experience.
Yeah.
Simplify the controls.
There is one thing that was less simplified, and that is assist trophies. You can not all of them, but some you can KO now. I think that's a real interesting addition.
But you can fight the assist trophies now?
Yeah. Not all of them, like the Nintendo. But
the Nintendo's still there, the big full screen ones. But yeah, like if I'm probably not the Doctor whatever from the Brain game. Oh, why can't I think of the name of it?
Brain Age.
Brain Age. There you go. Probably can't do anything about that, but like the ones like where Mother Brain would come out, you could probably destroy the Mother Brain. Kind of like how the Yellow Devil, even though he was a stage hazard more than an assist, but the Yellow Devil in the Mega Man stage you can destroy.
It's true.
Did they mention Mega Man? I know they said everybody's coming back. But
they showed the Mega Man stage actually, and
yeah, okay, that's right.
To it.
The Wily's Castle.
Base and Proto Man to its final Smash, because that makes
Yeah.
total sense.
They also, in the little intro trailer for Ridley, they had Mega Man, Mario, and Samus walking around at the start of it.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Good memory. Good memory.
So they got everybody back, but we didn't get any new reveals of any, like, still no Shovel Knight. They haven't announced yet any new third-party characters. Everyone was thinking Crash Bandicoot was going to be there.
Oh, that's right. That was like everyone knows that's coming, but we haven't seen anything about it.
Yeah.
Conspicuously absent. Maybe they are going to announce more stuff over the course of the week. I expect they will, but it's just like this was supposed to be their big moment, and it's pretty lackluster.
Yeah, I think that's the worst part about it, was just that they really thought this was like a home run. We don't need to show anything else this year. We've got Smash.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they felt Smash was enough, and not that exciting of a time if you're.
It's a big one. Yeah, I mean it's one of those big ones that sells, but you're sick of it in a month, unless you're a competitive guy.
And especially if you have played enough of these games in the past.
Yeah. And I played a ton of it on Wii U.
I played a crap load on the GameCube back in the day. I played a good amount on the 64. I didn't touch the Wii because I had the bad disc drive. Played a crap load of it on the 3DS and Wii U. I just let the amiibos fight each other for like hundreds of hours.
Yeah, I think we.
Speaking of which, did we already mention that there's a Ridley amiibo? We're getting a Ridley amiibo.
I think that's the one that most excited about. Maybe.
Oh, I can't wait to not be able to get that.
Yeah, they didn't. They did mention that all the past amiibos would work with it again. Smash as a series has been an interesting one for me because I acknowledge it's a neat idea with all the different characters and crossovers. But just fighting games in general never held my attention for long. So,
yeah, Amiibo would have been much better launched with an actual Amiibo game, like a Skylanders type game where you can bring Nintendo characters into.
Which they never did, and that was their biggest mistake. That's what everyone expected and wanted and never got.
Yeah. But Toys to Life is dying quickly, I think. So we'll see if Amiibo can sustain. But I want it. I want a Ridley to go with my Metroid, my squishy Metroid, and my Samuses, my 3 Samuses.
That's one I don't actually have any of yet, as I don't have any Metroid themed.
Yeah, there are 3 Samuses.
I don't either.
Yeah, there was the original launch Samus, there was Zero Suit, and then there was the
one that came in the set. Yeah.
Metroid Returns one, yeah, which is pretty sweet.
I forgot about that first one. It was mine's crooked.
Yeah, they all are. I think they all got a lean to them.
I have to say though, the other amiibo that they revealed for Smash, which was the Inkling Girl, is very underwhelming. It looks really similar to the first one.
It looks basically the same.
Yeah,
it's disappointing.
It's like they took the unsold ones and just glued a new base on it.
It's sad. I wish it something different at least.
Oh, we forgot the biggest news about Smash. Your amiibo data will carry over.
Yeah.
On your amiibo. So all those hours that you spent training your amiibo to be a great fighter, well, it's not wasted. It'll just transfer right over to this one.
And what is the point of that? Nothing.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll do amiibo cards or anything at all, or if they'll just be like, look, we don't need to focus on amiibo.
I really think they'll just have the new ones for the new characters, and I think that'll be it.
That'll be it.
I think Nintendo's attitude with amiibo now is release only the most popular amiibo, release them for a short amount of time, don't take up retailer space, and then move on.
Yeah.
That's what they've done. We were just talking about before the podcast about the Splatoon 2 amiibo, which were around for like a week or two, a few weeks. And now they're very expensive prices to buy online, so we haven't seen them since.
Yeah. Unlike the Breath of the Wild ones, which were out for a day and then not for like 6 months, and then all of a sudden started getting restocked.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if there's been any Splatoon 2 restocks, but maybe there will be when Marina and Pearl hit.
Maybe.
Which
I did see.
which will now be a month after the Octo expansion comes out. Sorry, go ahead, Barry.
Oh, I did see the odd ones here and there afterwards. Maybe it was ones that just didn't sell, but it seemed like for at least a couple of months I was seeing more of the new Splatoon 2 amiibos.
Well, the Splatoon 2 ones were in a pack. Like the boy had dualies, and I don't remember what the girl had.
She had the new spider shot, right? Not.
Oh, maybe.
And then the squid. At least it's not another squid, just in a different color for Smash.
That's
not
true.
That that's a bad thing.
Yeah, we'll take more squids.
I think more squids too.
But
But we did get some, kind of skipping ahead a little bit here, was going to talk about the Splatoon tournament brought some interesting information, and that is more new amiibo. So watch out, wallets, here it comes. A threesome of Octoling amiibo.
And I, just like Marina and Pearl, dude, I will pay full price for those. And I know I will kick myself later, but I will pay full price for those.
I don't know, man. I waited on.
I don't think you have to kick yourself. I don't think they're coming back. I think once they're gone, they're gone.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, exactly. I waited on the Splatoon 2 ones, and I don't know if I'll ever get those. So yeah, I'm on board. I pre-order. I'm still a slave to the amiibo. That's the only thing, though. Nintendo can suck it otherwise.
Yeah, I've missed several of them, and we were just talking about what it would take to catch up, and it's not a pretty number to think about buying even just thinking of buying all the new amiibo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What if somebody who didn't have a Wii U and is getting on the Smash train right now and thinking,
which is everybody.
Yeah, there's just a lot of people. I wonder.
I kind of would like to have a Wii Fit Trainer amiibo.
Yeah, that's the thing is we talked about this too, about whether they would release them all, and I know seems like it would be a big project, but with so few games in the pipe, man, they got to make their money somewhere. I gotta imagine, and I really do think that they'll sell a ton if they launch again with Smash with an amiibo line. I really think it would be wise of them to do it. Because people that didn't buy the Wii U one and weren't on the amiibo train now are gonna have no motivation to go buy, one of the random new characters if they can't get the old character they really want.
But Best Buy and Target don't have the shelf space for that.
I think
they'll make it again.
If they do, I think it'll just be the new characters and the favorites of the main cast from previous ones.
People buy stuff, and I think Nintendo knows that. But go ahead.
I think Barry's kind of got a good point there. I wondered if they would do that like as they're calling this the Ultimate Edition. If there will be that would be a really sad thing if they done Ultimate Edition amiibo, and this did the first 5 fighters or whatever, but they're in a different pose, more glitzy.
Well, remember when you beat the single player mode, it would give you an amiibo with a different pose, like an alternate pose. So yeah, they could do that. Or a trophy rather, not an amiibo.
Wow.
But basically an amiibo.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing, right? Is that's a good point. Thanks for mentioning that, Mo. Is the amiibos are trophies.
Yeah.
They're the same thing. So I just can't. The Smash and amiibos are intrinsically tied together at this point, and I just don't see them. I see them putting them all back out again, but maybe we'll see.
Speaking of what they didn't show, no 3DS this time around either.
Not a blip.
I was just thinking about that. If we do get a game reveal for the Treehouse
next
segment,
couple days, it'll be a 3DS.
Be a 3DS title, and there's something else that we didn't get, which is aside for the ones coming to Switch, we didn't get any mobile news.
No,
thank God.
Nor Labo.
Or Labo, yeah.
Yeah, that's a positive too.
But yeah, really nothing.
Maybe they're looking at this going into E3 and they're thinking, okay, Labo flopped. Our phone games mostly have flopped. What do we have to talk about?
Better days ahead for Smash.
Before the podcast, I think Barry hit a really great point about Labo, that was perhaps something they're saving for next year, and if he wants to elaborate on what he was saying.
Well, it's just the way they used it this year was as a filler during that slow season at the start of the year. It's got an educational twist to it. That's when school is still on, and it's something different. There was no mention of it here. We'd speculated at one point, or I'd heard speculation that this might be a place where they would show some of the Labo stuff, which we saw pictures of, but wasn't in the variety kit or the existing stuff. It might appear during E3 for another kit at some point, but maybe they're going to hold it off and just release, if they do more than the existing wave, that same time each year as a one thing they can use to help mitigate that slow period if they're going into this cycle of E3 big releases in the fall leading up to Christmas and slower start of the year each year.
Yeah. I think that's a solid point, and I think it would be very much within what Nintendo does to do something like that. And that's something that rolled into a larger conversation for us, and that was, with this E3 and the way that last year went, is this going to continue to be Nintendo's cycle? Was your one Switch successful? And they said there's no need to change it. And with a limited number of games and the timing of the releases, as Barry was mentioning, do you think this is the formula? This is the new Nintendo, I guess I'm saying.
Give them some games for Christmas, and that's about it.
Have the drought during the kind of springtime, and
but it's not a drought. We get 15 crappy indie games a week. But
first party games or major
or any major titles. Yeah, no. That's the thing is Nintendo, and you brought this up a while back, Mo. Nintendo has a lot of used to have a stable of smaller first party titles that were still of Nintendo quality. They were just smaller games, and that kind of stuff is totally absent from here. Snipper Clips is the closest thing we got, and it's not really theirs.
Yeah. I would love to see the return of, even if it was just a return of stuff we've already had, but obviously I'd love new stuff. But yeah, those little games that aren't quite a full AAA game. But I've spent just as much time playing Box Boy and Pushmo as I have some AAA titles.
Sakura Samurai, I really like that one.
Yeah,
Mii Plaza,
Steel Diver,
right? The Street Pass Mii Plaza qualifies as that as well.
We are getting Sushi Striker, and I guess that does fall into that in a way. That they're really selling it
with the price.
Yeah, not with the price, not with what they're selling it.
They've not revealed Captain Toad for Smash, by the way.
You're right. Sushi Striker is that kind of game, and in the pre-Nintendo, pre-modern era, Nintendo would have sold that for $10 or $15.
Yeah,
maybe 20 at the most, and we would have all jumped on it and had a good time with it. But now they're pushing it for 50, and it's like, are you kidding?
Is that the same thing they did with 1-2 Switch?
Yeah, kind of. 1-2 Switch should have been a $20 game or whatever at the most, and it wasn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was 50. It wasn't quite the full 60, but yeah.
Well, neither is Sushi Striker. It's in that's the category. That's the next step down now. It's you get $10 off. If it's a mini game instead of a real game.
The $10 off, to me, that sits at between a mainline 3DS game, which goes for around 40, and a mainline Switch game, which goes for around 60. It's like the in between step for Switch between a 3DS game and a Switch game.
And it puts it well above the quality, what you would expect for $15 or $20 on the eShop, you would think, but not at all. I would say Sushi Striker is on par with like Overcooked, right?
Yeah.
As this but it's Nintendo, so
But
they
it
think
will
they're
not
gonna
do
pay.
nearly as well.
No, it won't. Of course not. But Nintendo thinks you're going to pay for it just because it's Nintendo.
Yeah.
'Cause it's, yeah.
Game
I'd
and
love to see
Wario
some
gonna be
numbers on
full
Dylan.
price.
Is it Game and Wario, or I thought it was called something else?
Well, that's on
Whatever
3DS
it's
though,
called.
right?
No, Game and
It'll be
Wario
$40.
was the Wii U one. What's the Wario 3DS one called?
Wario 100 or something like that.
No.
WarioWare was the traditional sort of. I don't know.
Still didn't see that one either. No Captain Toad.
Not a Peach.
No Luigi's Mansion.
There was Captain
They were
Toad.
in their sizzle reel or whatever they called it with a bunch of the
Oh,
games.
okay.
So they did flash up Captain Toad. Okay.
Yeah, about 3 seconds of it. Any of the games that we haven't mentioned that have been mentioned, except for the
That we
bigger
already have
games.
seen. Those
Yeah.
all did pop up. Yeah.
Yeah, 3-second clips, basically.
Except for
Yep.
Yoshi and Metroid.
Right, none of the larger ones.
You know what this one also lacked was any kind of dramatic effect. There was no one more thing or
Yeah, they usually have.
first look, super reveal.
There was no
You
big
know.
announcement.
Yeah,
There was
everything was
no-
just like, here's this thing, here's this thing.
Even
Like-
Reggie was chill. When he came on,
Yeah.
he's like, let's talk about taking your Switch to high places and to low places. Thank you for having great experiences. And it's like, where's that E3 excitement? You should be yelling at the screen, Reggie, and telling us
Look
why
what we
we're so
got.
excited.
Yeah,
No.
man. No, I agree. And it's like, even if Fortnite hadn't been leaked, I think we all agreed, right? That's a fun game that's been huge for 6 months elsewhere, and us finally getting it it's cool. It's not a huge deal.
We also got, I don't think we've mentioned it, Fallout Shelter is also out for free.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Same deal with that. Oh, a phone game that I didn't bother to download a year ago on my phone.
That wasn't even in the direct, was it?
I
No.
don't remember seeing
That
it.
was actually announced at Bethesda's
That's what I
press
thought.
conference. But we also didn't get Netflix. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, no announcement. But I mean that's going to be announced with the online service. So
yeah, I'm thinking that's what I was just thinking. That's what they're going to launch with the online service, Netflix.
Yeah.
Hopefully more
So-
than Netflix. Hopefully
Yeah,
all the video apps we want.
yeah, I mean we've heard rumblings and rumors of some oddball ones. So that to me says everybody's on the bandwagon. It's going to be like a portable Roku, which is great. But they will need a separate media section. Like I don't want just Hulu and a Netflix and a whatever icon mixed in with my games.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we have a dozen of them now. We're gonna have a bunch of different streaming services, not just 5 like we always had. So they're gonna need to organize this crap. We need a new interface badly. We need folders.
Just thinking of the format for E3 though, what really confused me, I understand the tournaments for Splatoon at least. It's an existing thing. They're doing a regional, sort of world tournament. But the one for Smash, you got an invitation, you take some known players. Unless they gave them early copies to practice on, a fighting game is always so tied to what the moves are, how to counter things. Are they just throwing them into a game they've never played before, where they've just changed a bunch of the final smashes, they've just changed how things work?
They've played it on Wii U though.
Yeah, it's not that great of a departure, and you got to remember most of these I think were either celebrities, which were only there for attracting attention, or they were professional players. So, like for example, if you were a professional Splatoon player and they released Splatoon 3 and they said, "Here, go play this," but all the mechanics were the same, I think you could still pick it up.
Yeah.
And everybody had even ground, so it was. I don't know. It's an interesting point, though.
It just seemed a little off to me. It seems like something you would want to practice.
Oh yeah, especially before you get live streamed to the whole world. But I'm pretty sure it's just the Wii U one.
All right. Well, speaking of being live streamed to the whole world, I just want to take an opportunity here before we completely wrap up. We did do a live stream this morning. If you haven't checked it out, go and watch it. Give us some love, even though Z said it will depress you.
Hey, it's already been content struck, so it can't be that bad.
That's right. We got content struck for Daemon X Machina, whatever that game is. The one with big robots. That wasn't.
Roller skating Voltron.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was fun it was nice to get together. We usually record at night, so today we're doing 2. We got a wake up pod and a bedtime pod. And played a lot of Fortnite and Rocket League in between.
And we did our research for you guys. We wanted to be completely informed.
Yeah, we wanted to check out this Fortnite thing, and I'll tell you what, it's I don't know if they sell a lot of loot boxy stuff, but like I for the first time in a long time was seeing like 8 and 9 people online at the same time on my Switch, and about half of them or over half of them were playing Fortnite. So
we'll see
people
how
been
long
wanting to check out this Fortnite thing. And there was a lot of connection issue trouble at the beginning, but seems to have straightened itself out now.
Do you think that was on Nintendo's end, or was that on the developers' end? Or?
I would think the developers' end. That's probably on their servers.
Influx
of traffic
from a new console, and probably some hiccups. But by the time I got on, about 4 or 5 hours after it came out, after work, I didn't see any connection issues at all. We had some weird quirks, like it was just kind of annoying getting on each other's friends list or whatever, because I had sent you the friend request, but I guess you guys had to log in and find it first before you could accept it. And it's the interface. I don't like that interface at all.
No.
But yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. It's
okay,
what all the kids are playing these days.
Yeah,
we're all terrible at it. Although, well, almost all of us are terrible at it, because we did pull together a win one time.
Yeah, you did all right. Well, you were building the crap out of stuff there, Jason. I was
terrible.
You built a box around us, and then I died in it. I don't know. I still wasn't sure how the hell that happened. Someone was shooting at us through the house you made.
I think, but yeah, I don't know. It's okay. It's not going to replace Rocket League for me.
I'll probably play it some more before I delete it.
It is nice that it's a pick up and play. Like you can just pop in. You can pop in, die in 5 minutes, and be done.
Yeah, and if you're playing by yourself, not waiting for your team, theoretically you can jump in, die, jump in, die. You don't have to wait for the matches to end, so you can be you do 5 matches in a minute if you suck.
Well,
that is nice. That fits into the mobile mentality. Of course, it is a mobile game.
Yeah.
All right.
Sweet.
So, anyone have any final thoughts on E3 before we go?
It sucked.
Is that the? Let's see. Can everyone give one word to describe their E3 experience, or one phrase?
This thing, you know how they always say like who won E3? I don't even know anything about what PlayStation or Xbox did, but I know Nintendo did not win E3.
Yeah, that's
if Sony or Microsoft announced anything, they've automatically won.
Yeah, I don't see. I haven't heard any huge mind-blowing announcements. Nobody has a new console. Nobody has there's it's just new games. New entries and franchises that have a certain following or whatever, but as far as I know, no mind-blowing announcements. And there definitely weren't any here. Like you said, Mo, I can't imagine this beat anybody, because it's, right? I think across the board, everybody we've talked to and you guys have interacted with on Twitter is in general just let down by this, right?
Yeah, there was no tweet that was like, "Oh my God, Nintendo just dropped the bomb," or I haven't seen any excitement at all. The most I saw was how amazing that Smash has Daisy and Ridley. Get it, Daisy Ridley.
Yeah, there's some
It's
buzz
great.
around
Star
Smash.
Wars.
That's really about it.
I saw one flare of excitement when the Splatoon 2 tournament was going on, and it's because I follow a lot of Splatoon 2 content creators, but it was all Octo expansion drops tomorrow.
Yeah.
That was it.
So I
Yeah.
thought the Octo expansion wasn't coming out till July. Didn't they say that?
That's what I thought. I really
My
think
Marina and Pearl amiibo aren't coming out till July, I don't think.
I really think this is something Nintendo's held on for a while, and it's like, let's see how E3 goes. We can always throw in the Octo expansion out of nowhere.
Yeah, if we've got it ready and we don't have anything else, let's drop that. Yeah, I could feel that.
I did go to Nintendo had tweeted something out, so I always like to check the pulse of Nintendo Land and see. And I will say your Animal Crossing pinnacles or pentagrams, you can stop doing that because 2 years in a row it hasn't worked. You're either going to have to catch a bunch of bugs and fish or start killing talking animals. As a sacrifice, I'm not sure what you can do to get Animal Crossing, but Nintendo E3 is dumb. Okay, we don't live in a world anymore where there's no communication. Like back when E3 started, there just wasn't communication. So this was your one time a year. Yeah, this is how you disseminated information.
This is how you
now
got
Nintendo
to get major headlines about new games and whatever. Yeah.
Now Nintendo can just drop that shit overnight without warning. You wake up at 7 a.m. and there's a new direct. They don't do it often enough, but
yeah, well, that's what I mean. And when they do, it's disappointing anyway. So
yeah,
E3 is just more of the same.
I'll tell you what, though, their last direct was better than E3.
Yeah,
I feel like
the fact that they announced Smash. Yeah, totally.
This one was kind of a yawn in some respects because it was just there were some interesting new details about some stuff we already knew. There was a couple of new things, but they weren't anything that really jumped out at me or piqued my interest to any great extent. There was, I don't know. Their big showpiece Smash is something that I have mild interest in. That's about it. And that's about it. Like there was some of the things that were even expected or hoped there would be something of. There was less than. It wasn't a disaster. It wasn't a disaster, but it wasn't. It didn't beat expectations on any front that I can tell.
No, it didn't meet expectations on any, and that's the thing. They know, that people wait all year for E3. Like last year, it was like, oh, let's just wait for next year. It's like a Cubs fan waiting to win the World Series, which they finally did do. There's always next year. That's the baseball wisdom. But yeah, to sum it up in one word, it's I guess disappointed.
How many years in a row has this been disappointment for Nintendo Land? It's become a point to where you don't even say, "Oh, I'm disappointed." It's just like, "Oh, it's another one."
Yeah.
Well, at least some years they've had more fun with it, though.
I think because it gets built up all year. Like, well, we'll wait. I mean, we've been saying on the podcast for months now. Oh, we'll wait till E3, see if they come out swinging. And then you hear all those things where GameStop's like, oh, we've got no doubt how well Nintendo is going to do. I have no idea what all these new mystery placeholder titles are. Yeah. Stuff pops up. I saw somebody post. Somebody was complaining. All the Animal Crossing fans are complaining, and all. By the way, if you go on Twitter and all the Nintendo things, it's like, Animal Crossing, please. Where's my Animal Crossing? And then somebody was like, geez, they just announced 33 brand new games and 3 DLC packs, and some people still aren't happy. That's sad. I'm like, there was 33 new games announced? I must have missed that conference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was not the one I saw.
There may have been
But I
30
mean,
30.
games.
There was like 3 new games announced and 30 old games shown.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or 30 previously announced games shown.
And that's the other
But-
thing. I mean, I know we were all begging for information back in January and since, but why ruin what little surprise you had? Why give away Smash? There was nothing more. They
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is when they should have done it.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
did they? Yeah.
And even the Pokemon, it's like it would have been 10 times more interesting if they just waited a couple weeks and just did it at E3.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, now
still
they
wouldn't care, but that's people would be talking about Smash being like
People would be
Nintendo's
talking
got a
about
Pokemon
how
game and a Smash game. They're gonna
people
win.
would
They
be
won
talking
E3.
about how Nintendo won E3, and now they
Yeah.
won't be. Yeah, totally.
But now
They
we're like,
didn't-
wow, they're getting that Pokemon and the Smash out of the way. I can't wait to see what the hell they got up their sleeves at E3. Nothing.
Nope.
But who
That's
knows?
it.
Hopefully there'll be another direct in a month or two. And
Now
they'll
that
say,
said, they're
Animal
already
Crossing
at
comes
E3,
out tomorrow.
so they did have
Yeah.
to. If they wanted to have, if they wanted to demo Smash at E3, they had to announce it before
Yeah.
E3, but not.
And they could,
weeks.
if they really wanted to, they could adjust their strategy and see how this was received today, and be like, okay, well, here's Plan A of what we were going to do with Treehouse if everything went great, and if public opinion's not great, then we'll have to change some strategy around and maybe whip out a few announcements we weren't sure if we wanted to announce yet. But
I think
doubt
that's what they did with Octo Expansion. I really think that they expected, the Smash Direct to be, an 11.
they
and
called
it
an
was-
audible.
Yeah, and it's like, we got to get something. And people did. They talked more about the Octo Expansion than Smash, I think.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. What's your one word to sum it up, Jason? Fire Emblem? Oh.
Underwhelming. Fire Emblem would be nice. But I tell you, everything else was so disappointing that I don't even feel that excited for Fire Emblem.
They didn't really talk a whole lot. They were just like, here's a couple seconds of it, and see you in a year. Unless it gets delayed like Yoshi did last year.
In the beginning of when they first announced Fire Emblem Awakening and Fire Emblem Fates, when those games were announced, they just showed the opening trailer, and it was like, man, I'm hooked on it. I watched that opening trailer, 10 times. And this I watched on double speed as I just reviewed the direct. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I tried to watch it a second time tonight, and I made it until they got to Smash, and then I just turned it off.
Yeah, I skipped through Smash. I just double checked my facts, but wow.
I just wanted to make sure there wasn't anything I missed, but then I was just like, I didn't miss anything. So, yeah.
Barry, have you got a one word for the night?
Yeah, basically it was the yawn. I think that about sums up my reaction to it.
And Barry and Jason are both probably two of the most positive people I know. So for them to be unimpressed, Nintendo had to mess something up to not even put a positive spin on it.
And one of my favorite game series has got a new game.
Yeah.
Well, and part of it I know is this is just a teaser trailer, and there'll be another direct at some point where they tell us everything more about it, and then it's not till 2019.
Yeah. Which, by the way, somebody did ask Trennan point blank about Metroid and why it wasn't shown. And he was just saying, well, us, we don't show games until they're ready to be shown, and we just don't feel like this is the right time to show it. It's like, E3 is not the right time to show Metroid.
Not until we're ready to wow you.
Not until we're ready to wow you.
What about Pikmin
like they did this year? Where the hell's Pikmin? Hanging out with Yoshi, I guess.
Pikmin could have saved E3.
Yeah, that would have done it for me.
Yeah, me too.
Anything would have really.
Anything new in a core franchise outside of Mario Party, a real core franchise.
like Pikmin's one we expected, but they haven't confirmed it, so they haven't really confirmed that it's coming for sure anymore. For all we know, it might just end up being canceled. Maybe they were just like, well, we released Pikmin 3 as a select on the Wii U and it didn't really move, so maybe we're just gonna stop doing. And we didn't even see Miyamoto or Koizumi. Or Koizuma.
Koizumi. Koizuma is somebody else.
Koizumi. Oh, that's right.
He's in for repairs.
Yeah. And like Miyamoto, if you couldn't even get Miyamoto to be excited enough, there was no Mario.
Didn't he show up at the Ubisoft conference or one of the other conferences? The one with the Star Fox tie-in.
Oh, I don't know. Did he?
I think they had Miyamoto
and
on stage.
Ubisoft spent a little bit of time pimping the Donkey Kong DLC for Kingdom Battle. Yeah, I don't know. I regret to ask this, but Z, what is your one word?
I thought I already gave one.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you go with an F?
I don't remember what it was.
As.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh.
I don't care. I don't care enough to give it a word.
No. Yeah. I don't know.
Nothing,
Let us know
I didn't
what
see
you guys
anything
thought.
I saw that I cared about, and Smash. Thanksgiving's my cutoff, and Smash is coming a little too late. So
Yeah.
that's the other reason I just don't care about Smash.
Having time for Christmas.
Have no reason. I have no reason to buy it until the following year, and then it'll be a year-old game. So who cares?
But not a year cheaper.
Is anyone thinking of passing on Smash?
I will pass on Smash, at least for a while.
I think I might as well.
I likely will. Like I said, I get so little out of the entries I already have.
Yeah.
I won't. Yeah, I'll wait at least. But I eventually, I will have a family gathering where it will be required.
I guess we know now's the time to start exploring the indie market. Like Hollow Knight looks good.
Physical releases, a bunch of indie games are coming from that limited run company.
Yeah.
So I might pick up the physical of like Golf Story or something.
Yeah.
So I guess now that we know we don't really have anything to play for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I find it a little bit sad that I've got more excitement in my household as a whole for Pokemon Eevee and Pikachu than I do for Smash, I would say.
Yeah. And you're not even looking forward to that, really. So
I have some mild curiosity about it, but
that's
I wouldn't say I'm completely uninterested, but it's not as much as it would have been if it was something different, probably.
Yeah. Let's kill this thing. Oh.
I have to say, I'm grateful for Splatoon 2 and Rocket League, because if it wasn't for that, then my Switch would be collecting dust again.
The gifts that just keep on giving.
Yep.
That's what those good rainy day games are for.
That's right. If you don't,
that you can kind of all go back to until something new comes out.
If you don't own either of those games, and you're feeling like us, a bit underwhelmed about everything, and you're not really sure what you're going to be playing, pick one of them up, make a couple friends, play with them. I mean, it'd change your life. Good stuff.
Fortnite might become that for some people too.
That's true.
I know people put
Minecraft,
a ton of those.
Maybe even Pinball FX for if you're some people.
Yeah,
that's right.
I have some people on my friend list that have like hundreds of hours into pin. I just can't imagine putting 100+ hours into pinball.
Barry and his wife are getting there.
Oh yeah. Well, at least that's shared between two people.
Yeah, but I feel like, I mean, I see Barry pop in all the time, and it's Pinball FX, and I feel like that's kind of your go-to. If you got a few minutes free, pick up, play a game, and you can set it down.
Well, at least it's not multiplayer, so it's harder to drop out of Rocket League unless I know I've got at least 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, you still need things. I know exactly what you mean, man. Especially around here with a baby, you need stuff you can pause.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of things we need to pause, think it is time to pause this podcast. So,
I'm just getting sad.
yeah, it is kind of a downer. It's like it's getting ready. Like I'm ready to go sit in a corner.
Tonight,
For a
we
while.
announced the death of hope.
Of the Nintendo hope, yeah.
At least for another year. But there's always next year. Next year's the year, 2019. Good things are going to happen. They'll have to.
Fire Emblem.
You're Fire Emblem and Yoshi. And Animal Crossing will be revealed next year. I'm sure of it.
And Generation 8 of Pokemon, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
Let us know what you thought.
Yeah, give us your opinion. Tell us where we're wrong, unless we're really wrong, and then don't tell us. Just let us live in ignorance.
I forgot one more thing. Just Dance 2019 was announced for Wii.
Ooh.
So that's just a little update to some of our previous topics.
No BS, yeah.
So yep, it's still going. They must have sold something last year. Every year, I think they're going to pull the plug on the Wii version, and they're putting it out for Wii U, which is even scarier.
Yeah.
Almost.
Again, we ask, as we have in past podcasts,
yeah.
if you were playing this game in modern day, if you're buying the new version especially for Wii or Wii U, let us know.
Please
tell us
tell
about
us.
your fascination. Yeah. We'll be glad.
By the way,
I swear to God, we're not going to make fun of you. We just want to know that there's somebody out there buying it.
If you write something, we will read it on the podcast here and discuss it. So.
Oh wow.
Maybe
threw down the gauntlet.
If
it's clean.
If it's clean, well, I can't really say that anymore.
You know how potty mouthed those Just Dance players can get.
But yeah, if you make some good points in it, we'll be glad to give you a shout out and share your.
Maybe that's your Rocket League or Splatoon 2.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, I can always just dance.
All right. Well, we're going to end on a positive note. As always, thank you for listening and checking us out. As always, you can hear us on YouTube, Stitcher, and iTunes. And of course, you can hit us up at Twitter at NOA_podcast. Always glad to hear from you guys. So thanks for listening. Have a good night and dance on.
Night.
Have a good evening.
Party on, people.